Well, everything says it's set up right. Now let's give it a couple minutes for the servers to catch up and see if it's working like it's supposed to. Ah, I see a new person in here. Two Seaters Micro Farm. Hello, Two Seaters. We'll be actually starting this thing in about 2 minutes. Boy, it looks hazy behind me, doesn't it? It's really not that hazy back there. Wish I could do something about that. Trying to hide when, no, that ain't gonna work. Oh well, it looks clear on the screen on my phone. Oh, that's right, that's where Tom and Dawn were going. Okay. All right, now I know who we got in here. Uh, on my phone it looks clear, nice clear shot, but what I'm seeing on YouTube looks really hazy. Sorry about that, folks. Lily Homestead, a newbie, no, you've been in here once before, I think. Deer Creek Homesteading, I don't think you've been in here before, I'm not sure. Let's give it a couple more minutes for some other people to get in. I start the stream a few minutes early because it takes YouTube servers a few minutes to get everything going right and send out notifications to subscribers and all that sort of thing. Giddy Up Gal Gypsy Adventures. Let's see. I think you came here from Out West Homestead. I think you're a friend of Susie's. And there is Mary Grace. Hi, Mary Grace. How are you doing? Ah. Oh. Tom, or one of the other folks over there at Two Seaters right now, said he's been in a fog for a long time. I thought that's where you came from, Giddy Up. Wasn't sure. North Dakota. Last time I was in North Dakota, I was, oh gosh, about 8 or 9 years old, going pheasant hunting. My father's sister is married to a farmer from up there. How she got there from Mississippi, I'll never know. Oh, me. Well, it is 6 o'clock, folks, and it's time for the Mountain Crest Farm weekly live show, coming to you every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Tom, Eastern Time is not the same as Alabama time. Oh, a little bit of house cleaning first. Number one, I may get up and run fast. This might end abruptly. The rain is supposed to be over for the day. It rained this morning a little bit, but right now it looks like it could at any minute. I'm sitting here with my laptop, my phone, and my 3-axis gimbal that I am not going to let get rained on. So just as soon as I feel the first drop, I'll let you know, and when I feel the second drop, the show is over. Maybe it won't rain. It's not supposed to. Second bit of house cleaning. I want to cover this because I got some questions this past week in some emails. I got this question this last week, and I don't know what brought it up. I've only done one giveaway that I can remember. I gave away some peanuts, which Mary Grace won, and Tom will be taking to Mary Grace. Did you know that, Tom? I got some questions about giveaways. Do companies send me money to talk good about them? No, I'm not a big enough channel. I've got, I don't know, 1,200, 1,300 subscribers, somewhere in there. When you get up to about 20, 30,000 subscribers, then companies will start offering stuff for free if you'll talk good about them. I won't do it then either. Here's how giveaways work and how reviews and talking good about products work on this channel. I don't take anything so that they'll pay me. The only things you'll ever see reviewed on this channel, I won't say never, until I've got 10 million subscribers. The only things you'll ever see reviewed on this channel and that I might get anything out of is something that I had already bought with my own money to use for myself with no intentions of doing a review, putting it on YouTube, trying to get money out of the company or anything. Now, once I have bought something and I think it's really good, like I'm going to have a review coming up of a knife sharpening system that I think is the best knife sharpening system that a homesteader can use. Once I've decided that, yeah, this is a good product and I want to tell people about it, I do contact the companies. I don't ask them for money. In the case of the knife sharpening system, I contacted them, told them I was going to do a review of it, that I liked their product. Would they send me one or two for a giveaway? They did. That's the only way I get free products. They send it to me after I've bought it, after I've used it, and after I contact them and tell them it's a great product and that I'd like to give one away when I do a review. Nobody's going to buy my good talk about their product if it's a piece of junk. Nobody's going to buy my good talk about a product if I hadn't bought it and used it and have a need for it here at Mountain Crest Farm. I don't review stuff that I don't use, and I use it first. I buy it first. Then I'll do a review. Then, if the company's willing to do a giveaway or something like that, then you'll hear about it, not before. If the company doesn't want to do a giveaway, I'll do the review anyway, and I'll still talk good about them if it's a good product. I just won't be able to give you anything because I don't have the money to go buying stuff myself to give away, except for 10 pounds of peanuts that Mary Grace is going to get. Okay, I got to go back and forth between looking at the camera and talking to y'all and looking down at the comments because I don't have a moderator or an admin to keep up with that stuff for you, so I got to always be scanning through and making sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see. Giddy up. Yeah, I would imagine it has changed up there in North Dakota, especially with all the gas workers coming in. I'm trying to get my son to go up there as a welder. He said he doesn't like cold weather that much. He's never lived north of where I am right here, 65 miles north of Atlanta. He thinks he knows what cold weather is because it gets in the teens here. I told him he didn't know what cold weather was. Let's see. No other questions. House cleaning. Something else. Down there in the description, there's two things I'd like for y'all to be aware of. Use them if you want to. Don't use them if you want to. Just want you to be aware of them. Down there in the description, one of the first things in the description after show more, one of the first things is a book that I wrote for anybody that wants to raise pigs and isn't real sure about how to get started. It's a book that is written specifically with the beginning pig farmer in mind. Not breeding, it doesn't touch into breeding. It touches on people who want to buy a pig or two to raise for their own freezer. I've got another book I'm working on about breeding pigs. But there's a book down, the name of the book is Yesterday I Couldn't Spell Pig Farmer, and Today I Are One. There's a link down there. It's an Amazon Kindle book. That's the only way it's available is on Kindle. And it's an Amazon Kindle book. If you're an Amazon Prime member, they've got a Kindle lending library. I think you can borrow 2 books a month, borrow it, read it for free. If you're not an Amazon Prime member, but you do have a Kindle reader, I think it's either $7.99 or $8.99. It's under $10. I don't remember exactly how much it is. It's a pretty good read, I've been told, even if you're not interested in raising pigs. I tried to entertain as well as inform in that book, and people have told me that I succeeded. Let's see. That's it. The Amazon Prime, the book. There was something else on house cleaning I wanted to tell you all about this down there. And I'll remember it here in a few minutes, and I'll interrupt myself and tell you about that. The show today was going to be me and Tom and Dawn from Thomas Schmidt Homestead Projects. They started out up in New York, where they're from, and they hit a Homesteaders of America conference in Virginia, and then they were going to stop at a homestead in Tennessee, and there were some health issues with the folks that were there, so they had to bypass that one. And now they're over there at Two Cedars Micro Farm in Alabama. And those folks out over in Alabama must be showing them some good hospitality because they were going to leave over there in time to be on the show today, sitting right here and right here. But evidently the hospitality in Alabama is pretty good. Might have broke out some good Alabama moonshine for them. I don't know. But they're going to be here tomorrow. Tom and I'll probably do a video for his channel and for mine, two different videos of them visiting around here, and they're going to visit here. They're going to take Mary Grace. They're going to take your peanuts back up there. I don't know if Tom knew that, but he does now. Tom, if you didn't know that, Mary Grace told me to save the postage and send the peanuts back by way of you and Dawn. So there'll be 10 pounds of peanuts headed back to New York sometime tomorrow afternoon. Let's see, what else? Well, they were supposed to be here, and the topic was going to be just basically talking back and forth about getting started on homesteading. No moonshine, but a time zone difference. Yeah, Tom. Let's see. I think I'm missing something. Let's see. He can come up for 5 or 6 months and make his money and then go home. Yeah, I've thought about that. Hey, Gator Sar, how you doing? I didn't see you come in. So, Giddy Up Gal, you sort of live in North Dakota, but you mostly travel? I've gone the other way. I used to drive a truck. Used to drive a truck over the road everywhere from, I ran the ice roads up in Canada, taking drilling mud and drilling equipment to some of those remote oil sites up there. I've hauled produce back and forth from the valley out in California to the Boston market. Lumber out of Florida. So I did my traveling then, and now I'm sitting homesteading, and so you and I sort of did it the other way around. Let's see. Gator Sar said I didn't see him come in, and he says he's sneaky. Oh, me. Anyway, I figured Tom and Dawn and I were just going to sit and talk general homesteading today, but since they're not here, I was sitting here thinking about what would be a good one-person topic since it's just me today. And hang on just a second. I don't know why YouTube does this. Giddy Up Gal just put in a perfectly fine comment, and it's hiding it from y'all until I say it's okay. She worked 6 months, take the winter off, and bebop to wherever with my dog and horse and live in my horse trailer. Do y'all see anything wrong with that? YouTube does. They held that for moderation. There. Fix that. Ice Road Truckers, Mary Grace, it's not as good as the show. The show adds a lot of drama. The show adds a year and a half of drama into a 30-minute show. Yes, you got to be careful. Yes, bad things can happen, mainly when you don't pay attention and don't follow the rules. But anyway, one-person show today. I'm hoping there's some folks that are either beginning homesteaders or are thinking about getting into homesteading. I know I've got some viewers like Mary Grace. Mary Grace and her husband have a very fine life where they live, and they're not interested, I don't think, in the minimalist homesteading life. But most of y'all out there are either homesteaders or semi-homesteaders. And something that I think is real important for homesteading. Once you've decided you're going to homestead, this isn't about deciding if you're, well, actually it is. This applies to deciding too. But one of the most important things that I think there is about homesteading is avoiding what I refer to as the paralysis of analysis. There's a lot of different things you got to do homesteading. You've got to be a mechanic, you've got to be a plumber, you've got to be an electrician. You've got to be an animal husbandry expert if you're raising livestock. You've got to be a builder because if you need a barn, you're building it yourself. You're not hiring it done. You and a couple of friends build it. There's a lot of different skills, and nobody has them all when they start this. But don't think it to death. When you decide you need something and you're figuring, okay, I need to do this myself to save money, to save time, or just because you feel like it's something you should be doing yourself. Don't think it to death. That's what companies do. When a company wants to do something different, they form a committee. And then the committee has to have a subcommittee that helps them decide which people should be on the main committee and who should have what position on the main committee. And no. When you're homesteading and there's something that's got to be done, don't think it to death. Just do it. Even if you make a mistake. Now, there's some things I'm not going to say you should just do. If you've never messed with gas, I'm not talking about gasoline, I'm talking about propane and all like that. If you've never messed with gas, leave it alone. It'll kill you in a hurry. One mistake and everything goes boom. I don't mess with propane and I know how to do it. But that's one thing I just choose not to touch. I'm pretty good with a chainsaw. Despite my little accident a couple of months ago, y'all don't need to remind me about that. I'm fairly good with a chainsaw. And if you look behind me, I'm surrounded by trees. I'm sitting here 20 feet from the house. I've got trees behind me. I've got trees in front of me. I'm surrounded by trees. There's very little open space here. When I decide to take a tree down, it's dead and it needs to come down before it falls or whatever, for whatever reason. The first thing I do is figure the height of the tree, figure out how far it is from the house, and if it can reach the house, even if I'm wanting it to fall in the other direction, if it can reach my house, I don't touch it. I've got a friend of mine that's in the tree business, and I get David to come over here, and he takes it down, and he's got insurance. There's some things I won't do, but any other trees around here, I take them down. So what if it falls in the wrong direction? As long as I make sure my pigs are out of the way, and as long as I make sure I'm out of the way, just makes it a little bit harder work if it goes down the wrong direction. You've got to deal with it being somewhere other than where you wanted it. But when you need to do something, do it. You can try to do something and fail, and then do it again and fail again, and then do it again and learn from those first two failures and get it right quicker than most people can decide to actually go do something. They'll still be sitting there trying to decide if they should, or if they are going to, how should they, and why should they. They'll still be deciding all that, and you'll have failed twice and then got it done. And you know what? When you failed twice, you didn't fail at all. You haven't failed at anything until you quit trying. If you try to do something and it doesn't turn out, and you try it again and it doesn't turn out, and you try it again and it doesn't turn out, and you try it again and it works, you didn't fail 3 times. You didn't fail at all because it finally turned out. You only failed if you quit. If you try something, it doesn't work, and you never try it again, you quit, then you failed. You hadn't failed until then. Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Do you know how many iterations of the light bulb Thomas Edison did before he got a light bulb that would work? Over 2,000. He made 2,000 light bulbs before he got one that would work, that he could flip a switch and it would stay on. Did he fail 2,000 times? No. Matter of fact, some of those failures are actually products that we use. Flash bulb on camera back in the day. Remember back in the day. Now, you young folks out there, you're not going to know this. Mary Grace does. Mary Grace remembers. Tom and Dawn, they probably remember. I certainly remember. Do you remember flash bulbs on cameras? You stuck the little bulb in the thing, you took the picture, the flash bulb went off, and then it was no good. It didn't explode, but it burned up the filament, one flash, and it was no good, and you threw it away and put another one in there. That was one of Thomas Edison's failures. He didn't know to get all the oxygen out of the bulb, and he didn't know how to get all the oxygen out of the bulb. So when he put the electricity to it, The filament heated instantly, caught the oxygen in the bulb on fire, boom. That wasn't a failure. That was the flash bulb 100 years later, 150, 200 years later. Wasn't a failure. You only fail when you quit. So to me, one of the most important things about homesteading is not the skills. Yes, you need the skills. You need to know how to work on your own car. You need to know how to go buy a $25 water pump and spend 4 hours putting it on your car at a cost of $25 plus 4 hours, instead of going to a shop that's going to charge you $50 for the same water pump and put it on in 1 hour, but charge you $200 labor. You need to learn how to do that. Yeah, there's skills you need to know. But beyond the skills, you've got to be a decision maker. You've got to look at something and decide, do I need to do this or don't I? And if I do need to do it, well, then let's get busy and do it. And I'm not talking about avoiding procrastination. I mean, that's important too. I'm the world's worst procrastinator. If you watch my coffee chats, I've touched on that a few times. I'm the world's worst procrastinator. If you look up the word procrastinator in the Webster's dictionary, my picture is right beside the word. I'm the world's worst. And I'm not really talking about procrastinating here, though. I'm talking about not analyzing something to death. Analyze it some. I analyze it. I look at a tree. Can it reach my house? I just analyzed it. Yes, it can. I call David. No, it can't. I take it down. But you can overdo. You can think something to death. You can die of the paralysis of analysis, or your homestead can die. Because when something needs doing, you got to do it. Now, what all have I missed in here? Let me see. I'm going to take just a second, if y'all will be patient with me. Let me scroll back up and see what I missed, because it looks like I've got a bunch more in here than have been in here. Oh gosh, way up here. Okay. I'm skimming, so if I missed something, I'm sorry. June, you're here. You're late, but you're here. How you doing today? June Carden, she lives about 40 miles from me. Tom, you'll drive right by her house practically when y'all come over tomorrow. Sandy Wilkerson, I believe you're a new one. Hadn't seen you before. Welcome. Jackie's Kitchen, I think that's a new one. Let's see. Well, I guess that's it. Okay, yeah, I'm caught up. Usually if I've got a moderator or an administrator or whatever you want to call it, I like for everybody to be greeted when they come in. I don't know how many of y'all watch Self-Reliant Homestead or Prepsteader Bob. Sometimes he's my moderator and he takes care of all that. And he would have had a link for the book and all that up over here in the chats, but he's on the road. The Self-Reliant Roadshow started last week, and I believe he's in New Hampshire this weekend, up at Oak Knob Farm. A little shout out to Oak Knob Farm. There's some homesteaders up there that have their stuff together, and I think he's up there. And that was something else I wanted to remind y'all of. If you want to see the Self-Reliant Roadshow, it is 2 hours after mine. Mine starts at 6 o'clock every Sunday Eastern time and ends I try to make it about an hour long to end at 7, and then his starts at 9 Eastern time, 8 Central. So if you want to see a pretty good show, I talked to Bob several times on the phone. I don't know him. I've never met any of y'all. First YouTuber that I will meet will be Tom and Dawn, if y'all ever get here from Alabama. They'll be the first YouTubers I've ever met. But I've talked to Bob a few times on the phone. And Bob's a lot like me. I don't know if he and I get along in person. We we both are pretty, how should I put it? We don't know everything, but what little we don't know isn't worth knowing. And two people like that tend to butt heads. So I've never met him. I'm hoping to in the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping he can make a swing where he's not going to actually make a stop here at Mountain Crest Farm, but I'm hoping he can make a swing where I can meet him over on I-75 or something like that for coffee. June, you're afraid to have propane or natural gas? You really like paying Georgia Power those high bills? Because if you're total electric, that's not cheap. Let's see. This thing's scrolling a lot, so have I got some more in here? Y'all just talking back and forth. You're welcome, Sandy. And now that you found the show, keep coming back. It's every Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern. This may be the last one outside. I think I said that last week, but it didn't happen. Obviously, I'm outside. But from what I see in the weather report coming up, I think I'll be inside probably next week. The temperature is going to drop some. It's not going to get freezing. I'm sitting here wearing a coat, okay? I'm in Georgia. It's not that cold. It's supposed to be a high of 70 today. I think it actually got to about 63. If I was up doing anything, I wouldn't have the coat on. But since I was just going to be sitting here, you know how chill can kind of set in, especially when you get a little bit older. You young folks, you'll understand one day. You can get chilled easier, so I put my jacket on. Probably didn't need to. And instead of drinking something cold, here we are, 6:30. I'm still on coffee today. June, it's 64 over there. Well, you got me by a degree. When I started the show, about 5 minutes before I started the show, it was only 63 here. 51 in North Dakota. You're only 10 degrees colder than here? Jeez, that's going to change. It's not going to be very long before I'll be looking at the weather, and the coldest spot in the country is going to be North Dakota. Oh, me. But anyway, lost my train of thought. That's something else that happens when you get older. Although I can't blame that on getting older. I never have had a memory. Does anybody have any questions? Not necessarily about the topic. It's either you either agree with me or you don't on the analysis, the paralysis of analysis. But black cherry helps. June Carden, I don't know if y'all are keeping up with the chat. She's talking about how the cold makes her stiff in the winter, and she takes black cherry extract to keep the joints working. I'm going to do something here. If I was charging you for this, I'd go to jail because it would be practicing medicine without a license. But since I'm not charging y'all, since I'm giving you this for free, I'm not practicing medicine without a license. Let me tell you something about black cherry juice. Do any of you, mostly older folks, but even sometimes younger folks, do any of you have gout or have had gout? I can cure gout. I cure gout. If you will go to your local health food store, now you can go to your doctor, and doctor's visit these days averages about $150. Your copay is probably less, but the doctor's visit's actually usually about $150. But you can go to your doctor, pay them $150 or give them a copay, and they'll write your prescription for about 3 different medications, and altogether, even with copays, those medications are going to cost you $50 or $60. And if you don't have insurance, the 3 most common medications to get the prescription filled, you're going to spend about $250. And you're going to spend it forever, because the doctor is not going to cure your gout. He's just going to cure the symptoms of the gout. Or you can do like I suggest and go down to your local health food store and get a bottle of black cherry juice and take I'll spit it out here in a minute. Take 2 tablespoons of black cherry juice every morning. and your gout will go away. Got to understand what gout is. Gout is crystals. If you've already got gout, you know what it is. But if you don't have it and you want to know how this works, gout is sharp little crystals. Think about salt. Think about table salt. Table salt's a bunch of little crystals with sharp edges. They're not. It's not round like stones. They're little crystals and they got sharp edges. Gout is when those accumulate in your joint, usually your big toe, but not necessarily. You can get gout in your little finger, but it's usually in your big toe. And every time that toe bends, those crystals are just grinding away on the inside. Black cherry juice. There's something in black cherry juice, and I usually could tell you what it is, and I am drawing a blank right now, and I'm not going to waste your time sitting here trying to think of it. Black cherry juice, there's something in black cherry juice that dissolves those crystals, and you won't have gout. So you can spend $150 on the doctor, $250 on the medicine, and keep spending that $250 on the medicine every month. Or you can buy a $10 bottle of black cherry juice every once in a while. Your choice. I didn't charge you for that, so I'm not guilty of practicing medicine without a license. Don't anybody send the cops after me. Now, let's see. Have I missed anything else? 29 all week. You're having a hot spell. Yeah. Oh. Let's see. Homeowners insurance required you to use propane? Let's see. Okay, June, I take it you've had gout. Did you use black cherry juice for it? Or you were already using black cherry juice for something else, so that should have taken care of the gout. Hey, Susie, how are you and Bill doing? Did I miss you, or did you just come in? I hope I didn't miss you. I hope you just came in. I hate missing somebody when they come in. Looks like everybody knows Susie. Susie is one sweet lady. And this is her first. Everybody welcome Susie from Out West Homestead. This is her first live show. She watches all the regular videos, but this is the first live show, and I'll tell you right now, she's changing her schedule just to see the show, because I happen to know that this is when they feed their horses and donkeys. This is when they take care of their animals. And looks like they worked it around coming into the show, and I really appreciate that. I'm honored by that. Susie is one of the nicest people I've ever met on YouTube. I wish I could meet her in person, but New Mexico is just a little bit too far to go for a cup of coffee in the afternoon. Oh, me. So, let's see. We've been here about a half an hour, and it hasn't rained yet. So my warning at the first of the show, it is raining acorns. That's what you just heard. It is raining acorns, but it's not raining water, and there's no trees right over me, so it can't rain an acorn right here. But I actually didn't think we'd be going this long. I thought it would have rained by now, but it's actually starting to lighten up a little bit here just before it gets dark because it's late. But let's see. That covers the topic. I didn't even have that topic until 10 minutes before I sat down. Or actually, I started working on it about an hour before I sat down. That's when I found out Tom and Dawn weren't going to make it. But I really appreciate y'all coming in. It blows my mind that people will set aside time to come listen to me run off at the mouth every Sunday. That's just amazing to me. That you watch my videos isn't so amazing because you can just sort of do them whenever. You know, my videos go up, and then sometime in the next few hours or days you can watch them when you got a few minutes. That's not quite as surprising. But setting aside time at 6 o'clock Eastern time every Sunday to sit down and watch me run off the mouth, I really appreciate that, and I'm honored that y'all come in. There was something powerful acorn. Giddy up. It's just I've got this phone. I do all this on a phone, on the camera on a phone, and it has a microphone like you wouldn't believe. I did a video, I think it was week before last. This past week, I only did one. I'm sorry about that. I only did one of my coffee chats. I've been having some fires I've been having to put out around here, plumbing fires. But the week before, I did a video, and when I was doing it, everything sounded fine to me. I get in there doing the editing, and you can hardly hear me talk for the wind. The microphone on this phone is just unreal sensitive. I got to figure out a different way to do the sound. I want to do a different way to do the video too, besides using my phone, but the budget's got to loosen up with a few pennies before I can do that. Let's see. We got more than 10 drops over here, June. It rained for about an hour and a half this morning, about, I don't know, 8:30, 9:30. It rained this morning. Not hard. It was heavy drizzle more than rain, but at least it was something. God, we need it. I don't know how dry everybody else is, but I can guarantee you that June Carden and I are dry as a bone because we haven't had anything over here. Let's see. Well, giddy up. I appreciate that you get in here when you can. Giddy up. That's not my rooster. If somebody would shoot it, I'd appreciate it. I've got a neighbor. Let me tell you about the chickens, because if you listen to my coffee chats especially, you hear them all the time. Let me tell you a little bit about the chickens. You've seen them sometimes over my shoulder when I'm doing the coffee chats, and you always hear them. I've got a neighbor who has probably 20 chickens, and 15 of them are roosters. And he has got the prettiest birds you've ever seen in your life. And they're totally useless. They're all roosters. The roosters don't lay eggs. And everything I do, my wife gets on me because everything I do around here, I always put a dollar sign on it. She wants a yard flock of chickens just because she's a country girl and wants a yard flock of chickens. I think chickens, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, okay, I can sell eggs for this much. I can make this much if I need this many chickens. I put a dollar figure on everything, and it drives her nuts, and I don't blame her. But anyway, these chickens that he's got are useless, but they are the prettiest birds. I don't know the name. He told me one time about the different breeds of chicken he's got, and I didn't recognize most of the names, but they are the prettiest chickens in the world. They're also the noisiest damn chickens in the world. Y'all that have watched my coffee chats know how noisy they are. Have 15 of those things, because there's about 15 roosters going off around me all the time. So that comment about he thought somebody had shot a rooster, please, somebody come do something. Just kidding. He asked me about them before he got them, or after he got them, but he was trying to keep them in his yard, and he lets them free range, but he didn't think they'd come this far, and he asked me if they were okay, and I told him they weren't bothering me, that it was okay. But now, wanting to get chickens again. See, I had 100 layers many years ago, back when I had my dairy goats. I had 20 dairy goats, and I had 100 layers. I made good money off of both. And I'm wanting to rebuild my chicken house and get some more layers. But these are all roosters. I don't want all my eggs from my layers to have little red spots in them. My customers won't hang around very long if they're all fertilized. And he's got roosters that'll just be after all of my hens. So he and I are going to have another talk. It was okay before. I can't really go back on my word to him when I told him it was okay, but we got to figure something out. Let's see. Mary Grace, I've still got one. Oh, the little ones, the new litter, that was my ears playing tricks on me. The girl that I thought was going to have baby, she's still going to have baby. Oh, God. I wish I could do this walking around with my camera. I wish I didn't have to stay close to my, for the Wi-Fi. This girl is huge. Bagging, she has got enough milk for 50 piglets, and she hadn't had them yet. And she usually has big litter. She usually has at least a dozen. But my goodness, I'll bet you if you milked everything out of her right now, I'll bet that pig's got 4 gallons of milk. Her whole underline is fully bagged. Nothing has hit the nipples yet, but I figure any time in the next day or two. But she's the one that I figured had babies the other day, because when I stepped out on the porch, I heard the sound of a litter of babies. They get born, they get all of them get a little bit of something to eat and nestle up against mama's belly. Well, about 2 or 3 hours later, they're all waking up and they're screaming and fighting and fussing, trying to get to a nipple. And she always has hers about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And the other morning was, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was just about time for that first round of screaming. And I swear I thought I heard a litter of piggies out there just hollering for mama's milk. But no, she hadn't had them yet. Won't be long though. It won't be as long as I think, because I've got things I got to get straightened out there, and I'm running out of time. Let's see, what else have I missed? Hey, Jim. Got a question for you, Jim. You are making sure that everybody tastes your food, somebody tastes your food first, right? Because she said, I heard it on a video. She's got it planned. You better be watching out. Oh, let's see. I'm glad I'm not the only one, June, because I put a $sign on everything. Jackie, I know that red dot doesn't bother you, and it doesn't bother me, and it doesn't bother anybody that lives out in the country and has ever had chickens. But if I'm going to have 100 layers, and my primary market is and I hate to use this term, but it's the best way to describe them. If my market is going to be the health food nuts in Atlanta, and they will drive up here for stuff like that. I used to have one lady when I had dairy goats and chickens all at the same time. She would drive up 65 miles from Decatur, Georgia to my driveway so that she could pay $12 for 1 gallon of raw goat's milk and $6 for 1 dozen eggs every week, every Tuesday. Those people won't tolerate that red dot. They'll buy from you one time and they'll never buy again. That's why I don't want his roosters messing with my hens and leaving a little red spot in there. Jim, you need to get somebody you don't like to try it first. You like the dog, don't get the dog to do it. Oh, me. Giddy Up Gal says she sees a pig. Must be one of my 3 months. Yeah, probably see more than one, don't you? Hang on just a second. Let me turn around here. Yep, there's two. There's 2 more back there somewhere. Those are escapees. Oh, they're supposed to be in the pen, and they're not. I've got 4 that are 3 months old. 1 I'm raising for me. 1 I'm raising for a friend of mine. He and I did some pig swapping. And 1 I was going to try to send home with Tom and Dawn if it'll fit in their trunk. And then I still have another one for sale. Oh, let me see something here. Let me move the camera around a little bit. Oh, shoot, I forgot. I've got a 3-axis gimbal on here. When I turn the stand, the camera doesn't turn. There we go. There we go. There's some of the piggies. That is not where they're supposed to be, but there's some of the piggies. Let's see. Jim, I like that attitude. Nobody I don't like around here. I have only got 1 neighbor. I'm on a mile-long dead-end road. 9 people on this road, and 8 of us get along. There's 1 jerk on the road. I'll tell you all about him sometime in a coffee chat. Grampy Campy's Bear Creek Homestead. Grampy, I am not Sir. I'm just Bob. I'm not Mr. Hayles. I'm not Robert. I'm not Sir. I'm just Bob. Oh, okay. Let me move this back around. Let's see. There we go. I think. Okay. Let's see. Tom, you see how big they are. They're about 40 to 50 pounds. If y'all can fit them in the car, you're going home with one if you want it. That's what I ought to do is have a giveaway. Have a giveaway for the pig. I wonder if the U.S. Post Office will let me send it out. Mary Grace, what would you have done if I'd been giving away a pig instead of 10 pounds of peanuts for boiling and you had won? And I mailed you a pig. That would have been interesting. Your mama taught you good, Grampy. Oh, me. Let's see. Yeah, Tom, you'd have to get a crate. Either that or the back seat of your car would be a mess when you got home. Have to be a crate that would fit in the door. Keep in mind, just because it's small enough to fit in the back, just because it can fit in the back seat doesn't mean it can fit through the door. And I happen to have, I would imagine they sell them, but I've got a Tractor Supply 6.5 miles from me. Oh, me. And if you don't, make sure, if you put the pig in the back seat in the crate, be sure you put Mary Grace's peanuts in the trunk so the pig doesn't eat her peanuts. 17 acres? You got plenty of room for a pig, June. Shoot, you got room for a lot of them. Patricia, did I say hello to you when you came in, or did you sneak in on me? I don't think I saw you earlier. You must have snuck in on me. Mary Grace, June is watching out for you. She told Tom, protect the peanuts. Oh, me. Well, folks, it's been 45 minutes now, and I try to keep these under an hour. Anybody that watches the coffee chats know I can talk forever. I'll just talk and talk and talk. So I've got to have good enough sense to rein myself in. But anybody that came in late, there actually was a pretty good topic. The short version is, don't let your homestead die from the paralysis of analysis. And the long version is, watch the video again. If Mary Grace can watch it when it's live and then go back and watch it again like she does, then I know y'all could go back and watch it because I think, this is just saying it all over again, but I'm going to say it one more time. I think the worst mistake people make homesteading is letting paralysis of analysis stop them from doing things that need to get done. I might be wrong, but in my opinion, that's the worst thing homesteaders do. Just, to quote Larry the Cable Guy, get her done. So with that, it's about time to close up shop here. I want to remind y'all again about my book. Yesterday I couldn't spell pig farmer, and today I are one. It's only available in Kindle version. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can read it for free because Prime members get to borrow. They've got a lending library for Prime members, and you can borrow it. Two books a month, I think. Otherwise, well, as y'all just heard, I don't just have pigs around here. I got cats around here too, and a couple of them are getting in a fight. I think if you have to buy it, it's $7.99. I think it's $7.99. Might be $8.99, but I know it's under $10. There was something else that I tried to remember earlier that I wanted to tell y'all, and I have forgotten what it was. So I'll have something to tell you next week, right? So y'all have a fantastic evening, and a good week. Excuse me, that coffee's getting to me. Have a fantastic evening. Have a fantastic night. And like I always tell you, that's simple to do. It's not easy sometimes, but it's really simple to do. You just remember two little old things. Just two little old things. Number one, the tomb was empty. And number two, he is alive. Now y'all go have a great week. I got to go get some pigs back in the pen. See ya.